What's up? I'm Ashley, and we're going to be breaking down Silo, Season 2, Episode 4. Let's get into it. While Juliet is trying to figure out how she's going to swim underwater, Solo is annoyingly and enthusiastically explaining to her all about the circus and how it works. Then he starts describing what elephants are. And personally, I love elephants, but nothing tops a dog. He was like, their skin's all hard, they have this big old nose and these big old teeth. She was like, that sounds terrifying. But Solo just kept on talking while she was looking for some kind of a tube that she could use while underwater. He had the light all in her face. She said, get that light out of my face. Dang. He's like, you're really good at building stuff, aren't you, huh? Aren't you? What did you do back at your silo? She lets him know that she was an engineer. Solo tells her they used to use machines to be able to breathe underwater in the before times. He also explains to her this book called 20,000 Years Under the Sea and how they used breathing equipment in this massive underwater ship called the Nautilus in order to explore the ocean. She said, I know what the ocean is. Oh, you do? Because you didn't know what elephants were and you didn't know about the circus. She tells him she read about it in a book. He said, they let you read books in 18? She said, no. He said, oh. Anyway, you remind me of Nemo, who was the captain in the book Nautilus. He then tells her she'll be able to swim with the harmonium, but she kind of brushes him off and says she needs something to write on. He says there's a chalkboard in the same room. Come on, let's go. We get to the classroom where Solo informs Juliet it was a week before Founders Day that it all happened. He starts reminiscing, and from a backpack, he remembers a girl named Lapis who used to sit next to him. He says she was funny, always making noises, and was cracking him up. I want to hear a joke. I want to know what she used to be saying. Solo says her favorite color used to be blue, but he thinks she only said that because that was her favorite color and she liked his blue eyes. So Juliet says, this is a level B classroom. So she would have been 11 or 12 when the rebellion started. So how were you sitting next to her? He said, I didn't mean this belonged to Lapis. Why are you over there stuttering then? Then she said, what happened to your eye? Did that happen during the rebellion? And he said, yeah, that's something I don't like to talk about. Why not? You got PTSD? I like Solo, but I think he's suspicious. He changes the subject and says, oh, can I show you this? Can I show you? And I'm like, what is he over there looking at? It's the harmonium. He starts playing it and he continues to get on Juliet's nerves. She's like, turn that music off. I'm trying to concentrate. She's over there on the chalkboard trying to put together calculations on how she can swim underwater. He's like, come over here and let me show you something. She's like, no, stop. He's like, no, come over here, please. If you come over here, I won't bother you again. So Juliet goes over there to see what he wants. While he's playing the instrument, he says there's a bellows inside that pushes air through a valve. So you could use this to push air down a tube. She tells him she's going to have to take it apart. He says, you can put it back together, right? She's like, I don't know, maybe, yeah. Just play one last time. That means no. He said, oh man. So as she's putting the tube together, Solo starts freaking out, saying, I have to go back to the vault. No, no, I have to go back. I think I left it unlocked. I think I gotta go check it. She said, but you locked it. I saw you. He said, no, 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 you just saying that. What are you doing? You locked the vault. He thinks about it for a second and he says, yeah, you're right. Now, what was all that about? Now, Juliet finally has the tube ready, and all Solo has to do is pump it with his foot. She has to get across to the alleyway into the room, so she'll be able to get the firefighter suit. As soon as she gets under the water, things are not going well. First, the breathing tube that she made doesn't go out far enough, so she had to let that go. Then, while she's trying to make her way out the water, the weight that she had tied to her gets stuck, and she can't make it up to get any air. She can't breathe. She got no breathing tube, and now she's stuck and can't get her nose up out the water. She be stressing me out. But she was finally able to reach her hand up high enough to break something off in order to cut the rope. And she was finally able to get up out that water and get that suit after struggling so hard to get it by hurting her hands on this cabinet. Meanwhile, Solo is still pumping. And I'm like, his leg not tired yet? And just as he was getting impatient, worried about that vault again, because it looked like he was about to get up and leave her, Juliet finally comes back. And when she does, he doesn't even help her out the water. He takes off running, yelling, I'm in charge. I'm responsible. Juliet runs after him and Solo discovers that the vault is locked. She says, "You feel better now?" Huh? But then he tries to use the code to get back inside, but it doesn't work. Twice. And he starts freaking out. He starts yelling, "I get one more try, then I'm locked out." She tells him, "Maybe you should write it down." He said, "Shut up." He starts yelling at Juliet, saying, "What did you do? You want to keep me out?" She tells him, "What you talking about? I've been here with you the whole time." But the code finally works after the third try. So he runs inside and closes the door and tells Juliet, "Get back!" So since he has locked himself inside, Juliet says, "I thought we was past this, Solo." She then begins to explain to him how she felt when she went out to clean. She says at first she was excited that it was finally over, but then she started to get scared. When she sees he still isn't budging, that's when she brings up Captain Nemo and tells him she wants to learn more about the circus and the elephants. And as she's walking away, that's when he finally sticks his head out the door and tells her the circus also has cats that's called lions. Don't get him excited about the circus. Knox gives Shirley his theory on the caverns and the silo. He thinks the names on the wall are people from Mechanical who died in rebellions. He also doesn't think Mechanical started any of the rebellions. He thinks everything just got blamed on them. They realize their department has the power to shut down the whole silo. So they say they're going to demand the truth. "We're going to demand it." The plan is to get a small group together, them two, Walker and McLean, and demand a meeting with the judge. Sims says to Bernard, "You're going to let a gang meet with Judge Meadows? Let me stop them. I have 50 raiders that can take them down." "Shut up, ballhead." Bernard says, "No, we're going to let them talk to her. Maybe it'll bring down the temperature a little. The ultimate goal is to stop a rebellion." But Sims isn't having it. He's like, "What if they rush the stairs?" Bernard says, "Two of the gang are old ladies. What's wrong with you?" Sims also doesn't like that Meadows agreed to meet with Lucas Cow. He tells Bernard, "I was hoping you could have a talk with her. I know you've been talking to her." This is when you say, "What I do and who I talk to is none of your business, nosy. You been spying on me?" He said, "You've been tracking me." Sim said, "It's just an observation." "No, no, no." He got off too easily. But Bernard tells him, "The next time I speak to her, I'll let her know about your concerns." Now Sims and his wife are trying to figure out how Meadows became addicted to alcohol. Sims wants to get her impeached, but his wife Camille has a better idea. She says threatening impeachment is enough to send a message to Bernard. Then just maybe he'll go back to seeking your counsel. Judge Meadows meets with Lucas and wants to know why is he even there since he's not denying anything. "Let me guess, you think it's not fair. Well, guess what? You go in there anyway." He says to her, "Why did you even grant this request for a review?" That's when she tells the agents to get out. She tells him, "You're here because I want to know about the lights in the night sky. Tell me what you think you know about them." That's when he tells her they don't actually move, we do. He thinks they live on a massive ball that rotates. And it's the same thing with the sun. It doesn't move, we do. She lets him know he was pretty much right, and that the lights in the sky are called stars. They're massive spheres of gas. They shine from an energy called radiation. The world rotates and revolves around the sun, and the sun is just one billionth of these stars. And as soon as she gets him all excited and he says, "How do you even know this?" she calls the agents back inside to arrest him, but reduces his sentence in half to 5 years. He still got to go to the mines. And I'm like, what just happened here? What I just watched? What's wrong with her? And as soon as he leaves, we hear and see people outside her window saying, "Impeach her! Impeach her!" Meadows goes to Bernard and says, "Was it you? You trying to impeach me?" He's like, "No, I don't got nothing to do with it." He blames it on people being scared. But Meadows says, "No, it don't got nothing to do with that. All Mechanical wants is better suits, and they want to go outside and explore a little bit." Bernard says, "That's against the rules." Meadows lets him know she's no dummy. "I know it's against the pact. I wasn't going to agree with it. I was just going to say we should form a committee to study these ideas." So she was going to gaslight everybody. Bernard asked her to come to dinner tonight at his place. She said, "Why?" He said to talk about her next steps. She said, "My next steps are out the airlock." He says, "I'll have your suit." And he knew that would get her there. When she agreed, he told her to be there at 7 because Mechanical won't be there until 9. Before she leaves, she confirms to him that Lucas is dangerous and that she only reduced his sentence to seem like they're fair because he won't even last a year in the mines anyway. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. She about to tap out. Bernard is cooking up something real special for Meadows in the kitchen. While they're sitting at the table eating that special dinner, having small talk about some race they were in, then Meadows says, I want to try on my suit. This is when she realizes there was never any suit. She should have realized that when he didn't take her measurements. But anyways, now she over there saying, how long do I have? How did you poison me? He lets her know it was in the mushrooms. He cooked her up some poisonous mushrooms and chicken. I hope it was her favorite food, because I'll be pissed if my last meal was something I didn't even really care for. And you know you about to kill me? And you feed me this? I'm haunting you for the rest of your life. She said, how long do I have? He tells her, you only have a few minutes. She wants to know why. Why you do this to me? He tells her it's all about the order, and her death will unite the silo. She wants to know about the hard drive Juliet had, and he tells her he destroyed it. But that's a lie. He only smashed the casing and kept the disc. Bernard said, why you want to know anyway? That's when she lets him know it involves Salvador Quinn, who used to be the head of IT 150 years ago. Turns out he wrote this letter in code that Meadows was able to figure out. But she won't tell Bernard what it said. She then admits to Bernard she didn't step down as his shadow because she was afraid of being tethered to him. She would have been happy standing right beside him, but she knew he wasn't going to be able to fully commit himself to her. She also refuses to tell him where she went those 4 years she left him. Meadows then says she wants to go to the cafeteria to see outside one last time. Bernard says no and instead pulls out these goggles. She's able to see Costa Rica, white-faced monkeys, and red-eyed frogs through these goggles. Why are you so calm, girl? Her final words, what did we do and how did we lose this world? Bernard doesn't answer her and instead just lets her pass away right there on his shoulder. R.I.P. She will be missed. Well, at least I'm gonna miss her. Since Meadows is now dead and gone, Sims comes over and Bernard tells him to do exactly what he told him to do, then meet him at another location. That's when we see Sims unwrap a knife that was wrapped up in a towel. Meanwhile, Billing's wife is upset that he gotta go to work. She don't want him to go because she thinks it's too dangerous. He tells her that he can have a guard be with them, but she says, I don't want a guard. I want you. But girl, he gotta go. Then we see Hank explaining to Billings what happened with the firebomb and the shooting. He told him no one recognizes the firebomb thrower, but we all know it was Patrick Kennedy. And we know Judicial took him away from the scene before any sheriff could get there. So they both go to the morgue to see Cooper's body. But when they get there, there's no body. Where'd the body go? The lady who works in the morgue said there was only one body there when she got there. Hank said no, it was two bodies. It should have been two. The lady said, I don't know what happened. I locked the door, so she doesn't know how one just disappeared. When Billings asked her to describe the body, she said he had a big old beard, and they knew right then it was Patrick Kennedy. Then Billings gets on the walkie talkie with another deputy. She tells him two men, Danny and Patrick Kennedy, were taken into custody, and she also confirms the description of Patrick Kennedy, the man who was in the morgue. Hank then says, you know what? When I think about it, no one confirmed nor denied that Patrick Kennedy died and that he was shot just below his shoulder. Then Carla meets up with the big, bad, scary gang from Mechanical. Knox asked her, did she have the stuff? And she said, I know red from green. And I said, I hope so. What that mean? Then they end up waiting in the park, waiting for any word from Judge Meadows. And as that's happening, Carla asked Walker, how did you go for 25 years without being outside to being outside every day? Walker tells her the day she left to get the tape for Juliet is when it all hit her. But she claims she can't remember why she was in the house for 25 years. How you don't remember? How you don't know? That don't make no sense. You hit your head? Meanwhile, Knox and Shirley are talking about if they did get the opportunity to go outside, they would take it. Billings sends two deputies to escort them to see the judge. But the deputies tell them if things get rowdy, we leaving y'all. Y'all on your own. We don't need anyone thinking we're taking sides, especially siding with you. So while the four of them are walking up there to Judicial and to see the judge, People starting to get crazy. They acting wild. They said, go back down there where you belong. You can't come up here. So then that's when Carla drops down the red ball. And that's when she meant, I know red from green. And when she sends down that ball, that lets Mechanical know to turn off all the lights. And that's just what they did. That's when no good Bernard comes down and tells them to come with him. But only Knox and Shirley can go inside. And when they go inside, they're shocked that she in there dead with a knife stuck in her chest. And that's when they know they got set up. So Shirley leaves out of there running. Knox runs after her and says, stop running. You don't want to seem guilty. We didn't do nothing. Then we see Sims in his bald head making up a speech talking about they killed her. They killed Meadows. Getting everyone riled up so they can go get him. When Knox and Shirley sees the other two, they tell them, don't act scared. And they're like, I'm scared now? What you mean? So now it's Mechanical running down the stairs with two old ladies. How they not gonna get caught with them two old ladies? And how would they not get caught, period? Look at all them people and look at them. Look at all them stairs and look at them. But y'all let me know how you think this will play out down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.